everyone, welcome to another episode of the podcast. Beautiful You, I'm your host Avantika. Today we have a very special guest with us, Medha.
Hi.
We have been friends for 20 years now,
I think so, yeah.
21, 20 years at this point. This is insane. She's my first friend ever.
Yeah.
And today's episode, we are going to dwell into some more insights into living with bipolar.
Before we dive into this episode, you guys know I advocate for therapy all the time. Beautiful You encourages you to seek the right professional help and care for you. This is where Amaha comes in. Amaha is a mental health care organization offering scientifically driven and evidence-based high-quality care through therapy, psychiatry, their community support, and self-care app. Whether you're dealing with anxiety, depression, or any other severe condition, Amaha has about 140 plus psychologists and psychiatrists working to support you. You can access therapy and psychiatry services online as well as in person through their centers in Bangalore, Delhi, and Mumbai. Beautiful You listeners get a special discount. Use the code BY50 to get 50% off your first session with Amaha. Just download their app. It's called Amaha, AMAHA, or visit their website to book your first session with Amaha. And if you know someone who is struggling with mental health, share the love and the discount. Let's make mental health care accessible for everyone together. Invest in your mental health. You deserve it.
I was diagnosed with bipolar type 2 when I was 17, and she has been a very monumental person in my life who helped me get through a lot of my toughs, a lot of my lows. And I just wanted to, get her on the podcast and get some of her insight on what it has been like for her as well. And I'm so excited to get this thing recorded. Would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah. So hi, I'm Medha. I've been her friend since, like she said, pretty much 20 years. So it's been a journey seeing her grow from then to now. And I'm really grateful to have been a part of it. And I've also suffered a bit seeing her go through things and not being able to do everything. But I'm just super proud of this girl and really grateful that I'm a part of this podcast and this episode.
Yes, love that. So my team came up with certain questions. Some of them are for me, some of them are for her. So we'll just get it started. The first one is for you. How did you get to know about it, and what was your initial reaction?
For me, I got to know about it through you.
Yeah.
My initial reaction to it was, oh, okay. I was very confused and I didn't know how to deal with it back then. And because it was such a novel concept, I just didn't know the intricacies of it or how it's going to progress over the years. And so when things happened and there were some instances where you were just not doing well mentally, I was very surprised and taken aback as to, is this how it's really like? Is this how it's going to be moving forward? I'm worried as to how it's going to affect.
I think you have... my mental health journey started when I was 15, and you've been a part of it. I remember us crying one day together. Yeah. There have been sessions when we were just breaking down together and stuff like that, because we were so young and we were both trying to understand what it means to, let's say, have a diagnosis of bipolar, or what it means and what are the implications of it moving forward. It's hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. Especially as a spectator, I feel like, because a lot of times you as a person who's going through it, you know how to deal with it, or you just know what's happening to you, or you're in that moment. As a spectator who does not know what it's about, sitting on the sidelines, you just feel very helpless and very unsure as to what's your role is and how are you supposed to step in and support you when times get tough, especially when you also don't know.
Right.
That has been the most difficult part, I think. But over the years, there have been clear a division of responsibility in the sense where you're like, okay, these are the few things which I can deal with by myself, and these are the things with which I require your help and I would require you to step in. So in that way, it has gotten a bit better and progressed in a much better manner.
Right, makes sense. I feel like when I'm struggling with the lows and highs, the quicker I tell someone about it, that I'm struggling with it makes it more real.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier to deal with, because this is okay, ABC is the problem, what is the solution for it? And then we can directly look for a solution right after.
Yeah.
As opposed to holding it in, suppressing it, and then going through the motions of it. So it's I'm curious to know, okay, what are some divisions of responsibilities that you noticed over the years?
So earlier, actually, when I think I didn't know the right words for this as well. I didn't know the right words or the right behavior, so to speak. But then when you were, when I mean, I knew now I know to a certain extent that you are able to deal with these things. So I know I just need to be there and act as a net in case you fall down. But I also know that if things get really, really tough, you would reach out. So in that sense, I sort of know that okay, I have to take care of her. I have to be there for her. And mainly, I have to let you know that these thoughts are not bigger than you and they're just in your head, right? Because, like you said, these thoughts have a tendency to grow a lot bigger. They are exponential in that sense. So when you say it out loud, when you say it to me or to other people, it's just like, okay, this is just a thought. It's not the end of the world. You're Avantika. And your Avantika is having this kind of a thought. So Avantika and the thought are two different things.
Right.
So sort of I realized, okay, I need to take care of her in this way. I need her to know that her thoughts are not bigger than her. She's again still Avantika, who is just maybe going through some difficulty.
Yeah.
That has been more pronounced.
Yeah, I love that. That's a very good way to segregate things and to do that. So one of the questions is that how do you support Avantika during her highs and lows? Because supporting someone with bipolar can be rewarding and challenging both in different ways. So what are some of the ways that you have found helpful in support?
Okay. I think the number one thing has been just being there for you, listening whenever things get tough. Because I recall the times when you have just called me and told me things are really difficult for me and this is just not working out or anything, things like that. So I just being there, giving you an ear and just being very comforting and warm person has been the number one thing. Secondly, if the going gets really tough, then pulling you out of that dark hole and telling you, okay, there is light at the end of the tunnel and you're not alone. So that has been another thing where I'm like, okay, Avantika, we can go out and do these things. These problems are again not a very big deal. We can get out of it. Third, it's reminding you that you're not alone. It's us who is fighting against this problem. It's us who can deal with it. And it's not you have to be there and I'll be on the backside and be like, okay, Avantika, you go and I'm just sitting here like this. That's not going to be the case. We are going to be in this together and we are going to get out. So just reassuring you, being there with you has been the most, my role in this. And the lows or the challenges that I face is particularly, mainly it's just the helplessness. I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to get you out of the dark tunnel all the time. So sometimes I have to go beyond myself and be like, okay, this is the problem and I don't know the solution to this. But I know if I'm here with you, you might feel a little bit. So I think that is the.
I feel like we are so consumed by our own stories. Sometimes, like for example, if I'm going through a certain thing, it would be hard for me to think about, okay, what if someone else was supporting me going through it as well? Because you were there even when most of my family members weren't.
Yeah.
So it's like you just meet, and like very few of my friends were the only ones who I could lean back on, and of course my therapist and my psychiatrist. But then it's like there is only so much that you can help out with.
Yeah.
Because when you're living with it versus when you're watching someone go through it, those are two different experiences. Yeah. But then it's like I've also learned to acknowledge that the other person might not have the emotional bandwidth to listen to what I'm going through as well right now. That's why I try to ask my friends, or even with you, I try to ask, do you have the bandwidth to listen to me right now? Do you have the bandwidth to get on a call? Are you free right now?
Yeah.
Instead of just dropping it down altogether, because I never know what the other person is going through.
Because I feel these things are very not in the very specific meaning of that word, but these journeys are very individualistic, right? Like, you are going through this thing and this is your problem, your issue, and you're suffering because of it. And so as a person, so first of all, even you don't know how to sort of translate that entire experience and say it to someone in a way that they understand and it doesn't harm you as well while narrating that experience. And for the person who is listening to it, they might simply not understand the gravity of the entire situation. You might tell me, I had a break. Just to give an example, you might tell me, I had a breakdown. And for me, it was like, okay, she must have cried for 5 minutes. That's it. But for you, it's like, no, I cried for 1 hour. It was that difficult for me. So the conversation gets lost in the translation and in the narration. And because of that, I feel sometimes the caregiver might not be able to give you the support that you require
Right. Yeah.
because they just don't know the extent or the
Yeah.
intensity of the pain.
Yeah. I feel like the best way in these situations is to just listen.
Yeah,
That's that's the only way, and it's also the responsibility of the person who's going through it to be able to articulate it. But sometimes it's hard to
Yeah.
articulate these things. So it's about showing grace to each other and for each other, and remembering that you're a unit who is fighting a certain problem that you're facing together.
Yeah.
That always helps. Okay, we have so there are certain questions for me as well, because I had done an episode previously where I talked about my journey with bipolar. So if you want to listen to it, go. I'll link it down in the description below so you can check it out. So some of the questions is that, how do you manage time and your mood? You're one of the most productive people I've seen.
I agree. I agree.
Dude, I don't know how I do it. I just like,
It's honestly inspiring and it's also very annoying because we are of the same age, we are of the same age, and how are you able to do XYZ amount of things in one day while I'm just able to do maybe one or two? It's very annoying to see that.
so it's when it comes to managing time and my mood. With mood, what happens is that your energy levels fluctuate a lot with your moods. So when I'm experiencing a low episode or something like that, my energy levels will be vastly different versus compared to when I'm experiencing a high. When I'm here and there and everywhere, and my anxiety is off the roof, and I want to do everything. So my cognitions, different abilities when it comes to it are also different when it comes to different mood episodes. So I need to be very wary about these things. I need to be I need to be in check. I need to be self-aware about these things. So let's say that I'm experiencing a low episode, I'll make sure that I have just enough on my plate to get by. And when I'm in a high episode or something, I'll take advantage of it and get most of the work done. I'm mostly in euthymic stages these days because of therapy and medications, which means that my highs and lows aren't that intense. Yeah, they aren't that intense. So it just it keeps me sort of in the middle. So honestly, I'm able to manage time because I don't like to procrastinate things a lot. Like,
lucky people. I mean, it's just plain annoying. Dude. What do you mean you don't like to procrastinate?
I procrastinate in ways.
I don't. What do you mean you don't spend your time watching reels? What do you mean you don't spend your time doing some useless things that you know aren't gonna serve you, that you know aren't gonna help you?
It just doesn't happen.
Annoying. Like I said, it's very annoying.
So I do this thing called productive procrastination. So
see, how is procrastination productive? I just don't understand. Procrastination is supposed to be about you feeling bad about yourself because you know you're doing something wrong. You know you're doing something that's bad for you.
So okay, how I do it is that, let's say I have an episode to record and I have an assignment to complete. I'll procrastinate on my assignment by recording the episode. So that way I don't feel awful about myself because I'm getting work done anyway, but I'm not getting the work done that needs to be done.
Yeah, I get it. For sure. 100%.
So I'm procrastinating it, but it's a productive procrastination because I'm getting work done. So anyway, so I don't struggle a lot with procrastination, and even when I do, I just it just breaks. Let myself deal with it.
What she wants to say is, I'm way about you peasants regarding procrastination, and you all find the solutions for it yourself. I'm not the person you should come to, but yet. Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, it's not something that I deal with. I deal with a lot of other things. Let me have my
of course.
So okay, so yeah, to answer the question, it depends on my mood swings. I need to be very self-aware about these things. I need to be wary about what is happening with me, and then depending on that, I take on those many tasks on my hand. And there are times where I really, really, really have to push myself a lot, which I do. Like I need to because of so much workload that is there. So it's like taking accountability is one thing that is very important, which helps you push yourself out of your comfort zone and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Does that condition scare you? Honestly, yes. I have so many fears regarding bipolar. Like the most recent one, that is, I got a job recently, and And one of my greatest fears is that I won't be able to hold down a job because of my condition. I'm in this peer support group and I see people losing out their jobs because of the condition. And this is something that is honestly, it's terrifying because it's like, oh, I'm about to step into the corporate world, I'm about to step into the real world. And will I be able to handle it? And I don't know. My therapist told me that to like not have to not think too much into it and just take it one day at a time. He told me that I'm not a statistic. Like statistically speaking, it's difficult for people with bipolar to hold down a job. But he told me that I'm not a statistic. Statistics are based on data, which is of average. So it's like you're not an average. So you would be if you let fear take control of you. But that is, yeah. So he basically told me that I'm not a statistic, which really reassured me in a really nice way.
Just
No, continue.
to add on to that, I feel you have developed systems and mechanisms that allow you to push yourself to be hard.
Yeah.
And more than that, you have the awareness to know, okay, even though these systems will help me to push myself, right now I just need a break. Right now I just need to distance myself from everything and just take it slow. I think having that understanding and those systems and processes in the place would help you a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Extremely beneficial.
Yeah. And it's like one thing I need to remember is that I got diagnosed when I was 17. So I had about 4 years.
Yeah, you have long time to get used to it.
Exactly. And like now I know what I'm dealing with. Like I know the problem to it. And now that I know what it is that I'm dealing with, it's like I have my triggers in place. Like I'm self-aware enough. I know when I might be on the brink of a depressive episode or on the brink of a hypomanic episode. So I have certain things in place which are like, oh, if this is what I'm dealing with, these are the things that I have to do. I have a checklist in place as
you
well.
know how to self-regulate and you just know how to go through the entire experience. So
Yeah.
I feel you'll be, I mean, of course it would be difficult, but I feel you would be more able to face, you will be able to face that difficulty in a more knowledgeable manner because you have the experience and the expertise to back it.
Makes sense. I hope so, honestly. Like I hope that I'm able to navigate through it smoothly, that it's not that hard. But I feel like I would be a good corporate girly as well. Yeah.
You will be. You will be. I just know.
So yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay. The next question is that how has therapy helped you in your journey? So I have an episode out about 6 signs I found the right therapist for me, the things that I've learned in therapy and everything. Do check out. It's an abundance of knowledge out there. I'll link every episode down in the description. Therapy has helped me immensely when it comes to acceptance, self-regulation, and when it comes to just being, to identify different triggers that I have. Like I wouldn't be in my journey right now where I am today if it wasn't for my therapist. So I'm genuinely immensely grateful for him because he helped me become the person that I am today. So therapy has helped me. Like in short, I can go on and on about my therapist. I've been going to him for 2 years at this point. He has been incredible. And even my psychiatrist, they work hand in hand together closely with each other. So they know what is going on with me. They get on like calls sometimes and everything. So it's been immensely helpful, and I advocate for therapy all the time.
And just to add on to your point, as your spectator or as someone who has seen you over the 2 years, I mean, I kid you not, I can see the change.
Right.
Visibly, the changes are visible.
The insights that you get and everything.
And the Avantika 2 years before and the Avantika now, there is quite a lot of amount of difference in just the way you read.
Oh, I love that. That's really insightful. So one question is for you. I know we touched upon it a while ago, but what has been the hardest part for you watching your friend go through these episodes?
Hardest part. So I mean, when you were really young, when you just got to know about bipolar and that you had it, I remember you just being totally broken. I mean, I don't want to use that word, but just to give you an idea as to what the situation was, I just remember you being completely broken and devastated because you didn't know what it meant. You didn't know what your future would look like, and you didn't know what Avantika would be. And it was a period of extreme uncertainty, sadness, confusion, and I mean, I remember being you. You had a massive breakdown. You were constantly questioning yourself and questioning your, entire thought process. You even blamed yourself as to why did I why did I have to have this in the first place? Why was it me? Why not someone else? So that was personally very difficult because I wanted to comfort you. I wanted to be there for you, but I also knew that no amount of comfort and no amount how much no matter how many times I'll be there for you in this case, this is something you have to go through alone. This is the knowledge or this is the journey that you have to deal with, and you will have to come out of it at the end and be like, okay, things happened in the past, but now I'm in a much better space and much more reassured. So that journey, I felt really bad and it was really hard for me because my comfort could only do so much and my words could only do so much. At the end, it was you, right? It was you who had to take those steps. It was who had to go on that thing. So that was really, really very hard.
I can't even imagine
Yeah.
because we were both so young. We were like 17.
Exactly. I think being young made it the worst thing because the thing is, if you are an adult, you at least know you can have access to the resources and the knowledge. As a young person, as just someone who is in teens who does not have access to good peer support or good even mentors in that way, if your friend is going through something difficult, you sort of take it upon yourself and you're like, okay, no, I have to fix her or I have to solve her. And then when you are not able to do it, you feel bad about yourself and it hurts your self-esteem as well because hey, my friend is going through this. Why is it that I can't even do so much for her? And why is it that I can't even do barest of minimum? So it's a very difficult thing.
But like, I hope that you know that you have done way more than I could have asked for. That's for sure. And like, this is making me emotional. Didn't expect that.
I genuinely didn't expect that.
No, because it's honestly crazy how far we have come.
Yeah.
And this is really making me
I can see the tears in your eyes. Aww.
No, because like going through all of that, and I remember at 17, and I don't know if you remember this part where I was seeing the psychiatrist who gave me medications, and I was dealing with short-term memory loss and everything, and it was an insanely terrifying time for me.
That's what I'm telling you. I remember the countless nights where you blame yourself and where you were like, oh no, why me? And the thought that kept popping up, how is the future going to look like? Will I be able to achieve anything at all? Will I be able to do anything at all? Am I just going to be this helpless or in this state of confusion, anger, grief forever? So that entire thing, the amount of emotional toll it must have taken upon you. And I can only imagine that you had to push yourself through all of that and be like, no, okay, I want to be better. I want to do better. That hunger, honestly, that hunger to be better and do better, I think sort of pushed you. But I also know that it wasn't an easy thing, and I've seen you go through that.
No, it has been a journey.
It was just like
because
really difficult.
Changing meds to dealing with short-term memory loss, changing therapists and psychiatrists, and not having the right access and the right access to the right help, right?
I think pandemic really changed things. Pandemic was not just for you, I think globally as well. Because people were forced to be at home, they realized, oh, mental health, therapy, and all of these things, since we have access to, might as well just go for it because it's affecting us so much. So I think post that, there was a lot of realization globally and around us as well that people were like, okay, no, mental health is a real thing. People are really suffering because of it, and let's try and do something.
Yeah, for sure.
Because pre-pandemic, I remember there was not a lot of awareness about mental health. People just thought, oh, this is a mental health made up concern. Yeah. It's not such a real thing. There's only such a thing as physical health. What is mental health? You're just not, you're weak, you're not tough, and things like that. But post-pandemic, pandemic actually helped. It was difficult, of course. There's no denying that, but pandemic helped in spreading that awareness and also allowing us to be like, okay, no, this is a real thing that's affecting us, and these are the XYZ amount of resources that we have access to, and that we can actually go and
yeah, no, for sure. But so it's like, hearing your perspective gives me a lot of insight into, oh shit, like I didn't think how hard it must have been for you as well, growing up. Like that, I know that it's hard. I just didn't know how hard it is.
It's really hard because you're in your teens, you don't know. you don't know anything about yourself, you don't know anything about the world, and then you see someone who means the world to you go through that, you're like, oh shit, how can we get out of this?
Yeah, insane. That's if we talk more about it, I'll cry.
Yeah, same. Let's
Okay, so
firecrackers, guys.
oh, okay, this is an interesting question. So balancing support with personal boundaries can be a little difficult and tricky. So how do you make sure you're there for your friend while also taking care of yourself?
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. Honestly, honestly speaking, I'll be
Honest.
honest. Cut.
It's okay.
I'll be honest. I haven't been the best possible friend because a lot of times I've been. I mean, I've not talked to you when you wanted me, and I've not reached out to you when you wanted me.
But also you're also going through.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I have now self-awareness to know that I haven't been the best possible self for you. So I don't have the right answer for this, honestly, differentiating between your personal boundaries and caregiving. But I think it's also with like as you grow older, you sort of realize that who you are, what are your capacities, and just how much can you do.
Mhm.
And then realizing, okay, if something is beyond your limit, how much can you stretch yourself? And if it's going way beyond that as well, then you know, okay, this is not something I want to do, or rather, this is not something I can do.
Right.
So I think that awareness has really helped. But I don't think I can answer this question because I don't think I've been the best possible friend to sort of
Honestly,
be able to.
I don't see that happening because it's like I know that not everyone can be there for you all the time.
I know, but then again, I have this. I could have been better, right? Like I could have done a lot.
There is like, I mean, if you look at it, there's room for improvement everywhere.
Yeah.
But I hope that you don't, you like weigh that doesn't weigh down on you.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it does, but like not a lot. It's something that I had to make peace.
Fair. Okay, so there are still a lot of stigmas around mental health conditions like bipolar, especially in India. So how do you deal with the myths surrounding it when people talk
So having you go through it honestly has been eye-opening for me because I've realized the extent of having that, and secondly the implications of it as to how it manifests in your everyday life and how you deal with it, because you can't ever be free of it, right? Like you are always, because of it, one or the other thing gets affected, one or the other thing you have to at the back of your mind constantly take into account, right? So whenever I have these conversations with my friends, I have experience in me while backing it up. Like I know when people say, "Oh, bipolar is just about you're happy 1 second and sad next." I know, no, it's not that simple. You can't simplify it that. I know a person who has it very difficult on her sad days, and it takes a lot for her to push through. So there is that thing. Then secondly, just again how it manifests in every day. I can now talk to my friends and tell them just don't make fun of it. Don't make what a person that has to deal with it goes through. So I'm better informed.
Makes sense.
Like even in my conversations, I know that whatever I'm saying is not just something I've read on the internet. It's something I know because a close friend of mine goes through and I've seen her. Yeah. So like whenever someone just says bipolar, yeah, it's this is very good. I get angry because I'm like, oh, that's just cool. You don't know it's just cool.
Yeah, like don't talk about it if you don't
Yeah.
know it, or just educate yourself on
Yeah,
these
yeah.
things.
And then if they're open to that conversation, I tell them like, this is it. I also promote your podcast. Oh, my friend does it. You should go and listen to it. Maybe you'll get more information about it.
Love that. Thank you. So, wait, this is a very close question to what you answered. Supporting a friend with bipolar can be in itself beauty and chaos. How has your friendship with her shaped your own thinking or perspective on mental health, and how do you feel grown as a person through this experience?
So, honestly, being friends with you has been I won't say has been inspiring. I mean, I won't lie, it has been inspiring. for action. I won't lie, it has been inspiring because I see you two things, right? I see you having that blah 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 amount of things in your day and just pushing through it. And as someone who is sort of lazy, I feel like, "Hey, bro, this is not done." I mean, if a close friend of yours can do it, then you definitely can as well. So in that way, in just pure productivity by speaking, that has been personally very inspiring, knowing that you can push yourself through the day. So I know for the fact that I can do it myself. Secondly, it has made me a better person because I have become more empathetic. I know for a fact that I am more open to other experiences and people talking about their mental health journeys because I know how hard it has been for you. So earlier, when I didn't know a lot about this, I used to be like, mental health, it's okay, you deal with it. Now that I know, okay, no, it's difficult, and I am while talking to them as well, I know when to take over the space, when to back down, and then let them talk about their experience. I know how to wait through it. And thirdly, in a more personal way, it has inspired me to sort of take care of my mental health, do certain things to ensure that I am in a good or better space to deal with things and understand things in a better way.
No, that's nice. I'm glad that it has had a positive impact on you as well in those manner because like taking care of yourself comes first. If you don't take care of yourself, that's gonna fuck you up really bad. I know my mom listens to every episode. Shout out to my mom.
Let's go.
But she has heard me curse, and I'm thinking it's okay to like curse.
Okay.
I mean, as long as it's not like
every second.
And as long as it's not too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
I've been so censoring myself. I'm like, oh, I don't know, actually.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So, okay, there's this more questions for me. How do you know you're going through an episode? So I have my diary with this. This is it's called travel, but it's just therapy diary for me. I have everything written down in every session. So I have like certain triggers that I've written down that I know that these are my triggers. I won't be talking about all of them. But like for example, stress. If there are certain past trauma reminders, if I'm drinking alcohol, if my sleep schedule is messed up, if I'm running low on gratitude, mindfulness, if I'm skipping medications, and if my anxiety is turning into helplessness, these are some of the triggers that I have that will trigger me into either a depressive episode or a hypomanic episode.
So a checklist also.
Yeah, so it's like these are the triggers that I have to avoid. Like for example, if I miss medication one day, I need to make sure I'm not missing it the next day. Because if I'm missing medications 3 nights in a row, I will notice some fluctuations in my mood swings. And then if I'm noticing that, instead of panicking, I'm like, oh, you just missed medications. Like not, it's not the end of the world. Just take medications regularly, and in a week I'll feel better. So yeah. And then there are certain like non-negotiables that I have during episodes that I have to do. So there are certain non-negotiables that I've written down during periods of normalcy as well. So I don't slip into an episode. How do I know that I'm going through an episode? Is like when I'm going through hypomania, there is usually like the thing is the difference is that in my to-do list, I deal with like to-do lists pretty much on a daily basis. So if I have too much on my plate, if I'm getting a lot of work done, and if my mind is constantly racing, and if it's just going from one thought to another about what to get done next and everything, that's one of the main like symptoms for me regarding it. It's like if I'm not feeling calm, if I'm very restless, if my anxiety is off the roof, then it's usually I might get into hypomania unless there are specific triggers for it. The other part is when I'm sleeping for like 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours per night, and if I'm functioning fully fine, then that's another symptom that I might slip into hypomania. Sleep, and apart from that, if I have way too many grandiose ideas and too many ideas that I want to do this, I want to achieve that, I want to be the next possible best person, like whatever it is. Like if I have grandiose ideas, then that's usually a trigger, a symptom for me to let me know that I might slip into hypomania as well. For depression, it's just low energies. There is an impact on my decision making skills, on my cognitive skills. I don't feel like doing anything. I may have some negative thoughts as well. And I'm not able to get the things done which are on my to-do list as well. So if I don't have the motivation to do anything, that's usually a trigger. That's usually a symptom for me that I'm going through an episode. The next question is that how do you envision your future in terms of managing your mental health? So I don't know what you mean by like managing your mental health, but like the things that I'm doing right now, going to therapy, seeing my psychiatrist, taking my medications, journaling time to time, doing after therapy work, engaging in mindfulness and gratitude. I sometimes try to meditate as well. Like I try to meditate 4 to 5 times a week. Doing all of these things that have helped me a lot, sleeping for 6 to 8 hours every day. Then yeah, I'm trying to not overwork all the time is also one of the ways that I'm trying to curb my episodes as well. So these are the things that I'm already doing, right? Already doing already.
Yeah.
So I'm already doing this thing. So I just envision myself continuing these things and learning as I grow. So if I happen to learn any new ways to deal with these episodes better, I'll incorporate them as I go. But for now, I think these are like good enough.
And I think to add on to that, these are also the steps you're taking for your future self. Like, you have a certain idea as to how you want to be like moving forward, and you're doing it every day so as to your future self would be okay with these things.
Yeah.
So these little steps in a domino kind of way are adding up to that.
Yeah, for sure. So one of the questions is that has bipolar ever caused any misunderstanding in your friendship? Not in ours.
Not yet.
I have lost friends because I told them that I have bipolar. And they just didn't know. They were like, "Oh, you're too much or too little," and something like that.
We have had periods where we don't talk, but that's just how our friendship has been. We
it's
don't
just
talk for 2 months straight, and then third month Avantika would call me and tell me about some random thing about her life, and then we'll be back to normal and we'll just talk about the things that are happening.
Yeah, but that's just life happening.
Yeah,
that's not bipolar.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
That even if like bipolar was somehow to change that, it wouldn't really affect us because we are anyway not used to talking to each other on an everyday basis.
Yeah.
We have these periods where we don't talk to each other at all, and then maybe in the third or the fourth month we'll connect together, we'll talk, and then we'll talk on a regular basis, and then again there will be next 3-4 months where we won't.
Yeah.
So bipolar, I don't think bipolar is honestly affected. We've just had our days.
Yeah, makes sense. So not in our friendship. Nothing has happened. We are good. Nothing has happened. It hasn't caused any misunderstanding in our friendship. I think the most that would happen is that I'm going through a depressive episode and I just isolate. But yeah, like I don't isolate that often. I seek help actually.
Yeah, you just reach out. Yeah, things are not good.
I would be crying on phone and I'm like, I need help. I don't isolate. I actually
that's what I mean, right? Like you just know how to take. You've gotten so better at taking care of yourself that you know when you are capable enough and when things are genuinely out of your control and you require someone else's help.
Yeah.
So as a spectator, honestly, there hasn't been one instance where I've felt very burdened with it, so to speak, so to use that word, because you're just so self-sufficient in that way that you know how you're going to get through it. And just if maybe the pot tips over, maybe the water boils over, you know, okay, these are way beyond my capacities and I need someone to step in and take care of it.
For sure. Do you have any advice for who has their loved one diagnosed with disorder?
I would just say have an open heart. The generic things like have an open heart, be kind, be empathetic. But these things are honestly true because a lot of times your loved one does not know or does not have the words themselves to talk about what's going on. And when you bring in your preconceived notions as to how they are supposed to act like, it burdens them furthermore because they are already dealing with so much uncertainty, and in that case, you're pushing them to be a certain way, which is adding them more stress or making them more stressed as to how they are just supposed to deal with it. So just being there for them, understanding that they might not be in their best self, but they're still trying and they're doing the best from their side. So be open, be kind, and have an opening ear to
Yeah. I feel like the best way that you can be there for someone is just listen.
Yeah.
Instead of assuming what the person needs, just listen. The next question is addressed to me. What is something you want people to know more about bipolar? Do you want to go first?
Yeah. So what I don't know how much do people know in the first place, because in
Not a
different
lot.
circles, yeah.
The amount of people who have told me when I was like, oh, I have bipolar, they're like, oh, is that like split personality? No, it's not.
Yikes. No, I meant that in some circles people know a lot, and in some circles people don't know anything, don't know that shit. But the thing is, if like in a more general sense, I would say that bipolar is just not you being happy 1 second and sad the next. It's much more than that, and it takes a lot of toll. There's no denying that it takes mentally, physically. You have to push yourself, and you have to go through a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, this is what I think.
Right. And what I would like to, have people know about it is that your mood and your moods and energy levels are very correlated with each other. So it really like your energy levels fluctuate a lot with the moods that not a lot of people talk about. It's not as often talked about. It's not understood. It's not perceived and stuff like that. So one thing is that your mood swings will dictate your energy levels a lot. And honestly, people are just trying their best as they go. Give them some grace, show them some compassion, and be kind. Just listen to what the person has to say. If you don't know how to help them, ask. How would you like for me to be there?
Don't assume.
Don't assume.
Don't assume. And let go of your preconceived biases as to how bipolar is supposed to be like, or how bipolar is like, because it differs from person to person.
Exactly.
Situation to situation and context to context. In 1 month, bipolar for that person might look like this. It's not necessary that in the next month it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same symptoms, and it's going to be the same intensity of that. So just being open to that change and being understanding of that change, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So have you found your silver lining yet? I honestly don't know if I found my silver lining yet. One thing that I know that has pretty much shaped my life. Like, I was 15 when I first got the diagnosis of depression, anxiety, and PTSD. That is when I was introduced to having diagnosis, and I was like, "Oh, I'm getting the diagnosis. this is like
Life changing.
Yeah, could never be me. Why is this happening to me?" And I was merely like 15. Because like 15 is such a young age to deal with any of it, right? So that happened, and then I was 17 when the bipolar diagnosis came in, and I feel like it has ignited my passion for psychology and mental health. And then I ended up dropping. So I was going to prepare for medical entrance exam. I wanted to be a doctor, but that plan I dropped it because I was like, oh, this is not the field that I want to pursue my career into. Psychology is something that I want to get into, and I'm graduating soon with a BSc psychology from Mumbai University from Mumbai, and and now it's like I'm planning to pursue a career in it. So, and then I started Beautiful You as a podcast. Like, the podcast started back in 2021, of like November 2021, as a means for me to share my personal journey with people out there. So, and then it just grew. Like, now we have guests from all over the world. We have listeners, tuning in from so many different countries and stuff like that. So it just, my silver lining would be finding my passion, because I feel like this is my field. This is what I was meant to be in. And I have had so many people tell me that if they picture anyone who would excel in this field, it's me.
Oh, or they would, so sweet.
I know. And like one of my friends told me that he could never see me in any other field but psychology.
That's honestly such a compliment.
It is.
Such a regard, that highest regard, I would say.
Yeah, so I found my silver lining, I guess, in a way that I found my passion for it. And Beautiful You is doing amazing with so many events. It has grown so much in terms of the team, in terms of the work that we do as well. So it has just expanded.
Content that has expanded, the scope of that content, and the number of episodes and newsletters and things that you're doing.
For sure. So it has just the only ways upwards. So I guess that would be my silver lining. And we have one last. So my team has written it as mandatory, which is so cute. So they're like, at the end, describe how grateful you are to your friends. Time to cry.
I was not ready for this, guys. I was definitely not ready for it.
So, okay,
I'll go first.
okay.
So I am honestly grateful for you, first of all, for pushing yourself to that thing.
I'm crying already.
See, because I don't know. I remember the Avantika of that time. I don't know how you survived honestly through all of that. It's not just like mental health, right? But with all the things that were happening around you, I don't know how you survived, but you did. And I'm just so glad that you did. Because I kid you not, this world would be a very dim place without you. Like the light just would not shine. And as people have said that, you're meant to do psychology, I think people around you and even psychology as a subject, it's like I'm really glad that you're pursuing it because I know for a fact that you're gonna bring new insights, new experiences, new thoughts, new just a sort of novelty to that field that the field has not seen. For that, and I don't know, bro. As a friend, I'm just really grateful for you for constantly being there for me, constantly being there for yourself and the people around you. Just building a community of psychology lovers or mental health enthusiasts,
Advocates.
advocates who care about this cause so much and who are ready to give their everything. Because to get someone to do that is a very big thing. And seeing you achieve that is a hats off moment.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And like I said, like honestly, this friendship means the world to me.
Same.
Because like it's been 20 years and it's not consistent 20 years. It's been we have had our like
Because
periods
it's definitely, yeah.
because that comes with growing up.
Growing
Like
up.
you sometimes, but it's crazy to me how we have had our like moments where we stop talking to each other or just stop being friends for like a year or two, but then we always found a way
Yeah.
back to each other. So that tells me, that gives me the confidence that
People
I'll see you at the
gravitate,
wedding.
yeah. Dude, I was gonna say we will always gravitate to each other like two opposite poles of magnet. But yeah, I will definitely be at your wedding.
Yeah. So no, that's like I want you there, right? Like
Of course. Seriously, that's the benchmark.
I was
That's the benchmark.
I was trying to make light of the
You
situation.
want me to be there? I'm gonna be here the moment you meet someone, bro. I'm gonna be here 6 months before your wedding, just being like, oh, let's go. I think wedding in 6 months. I'm gonna be here when your entire house is decorated. When you go out to meet that guy for the first time, and I'll sit on the table with that person. I'll be like, बात करो अभी तुम हाँ बताओ तुम्हें पता है इसने ऐसा किया तुम्हें पता है wedding can't believe like,
I was trying to make light of the situation.
no but
But
yes
yeah.
Avantika, I'll be there at your wedding. And you will also be
Yeah,
there.
of course. So I it's a little hurting from laughing. But my point is that so what I was saying is that this friendship means the world to me because you honestly I haven't been able to talk to my parents, talk to my own family about certain things when it comes to bipolar the way that I've been able to talk to you. When they weren't there, when they were struggling to figure out what it is, or they were just blatantly ignorant about certain things because there have been moments, there have been years where they were just ignorant about it, and it was just me on the field battling with it. Oh, this is the diagnosis. What do I do with it and everything? So it was just me who was dealing with it. I did not have caregivers growing up. I did not have like family to fall back on. So when that wasn't there, you were still there. So that's why it means the world to me that you were there consistently through every low, and you were consistently there. It wasn't just like a one low or two lows, or just like oh when it's convenient for you, because I can imagine it hasn't been easy for you either. So I'm really glad and grateful that you were there even when it wasn't convenient for you, because that's what true friendship means, and that's how you like love someone, right? Like that's how you are when you love someone and when you're there for someone, and it like lets me know, and I'm so confident in our friendship that it will continue to like flourish.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, and we're gonna like race through all that.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
that like wheelchair thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will. Yeah.
So we'll like race through wheelchairs together and whatnot.
Yeah.
And and I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah, and I'm just like honestly really excited to what heights you reach next and what milestones you continue to climb. I'm sure it's going to be a hectic but an exciting journey.
I'm excited for you too.
Thank you.
I'm excited to be there for each other and be each other's cheerleaders up till the end. And yeah, it's now I'm emotional.
Yeah, same. I think this is a good time to
And the episode. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking your time out and to be on this episode. It was really insightful. It was insightful for me to understand what it was like for you as well growing up. And yeah, like thank you so much for being there. I love
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much for having me. I just hope I just could contribute.
It was insightful. It
At
was
least
really
yeah,
insightful.
1% to the conversation. It was really insightful for me as well to be a part of this and to sort of like I now while sitting here I can go back and think about how the times were back then and how you have changed. It allowed me to go on that journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much for everyone who tuned in and listened to our episode. I hope that you can relate to it and learn something about out of it. Where can people reach out to you?
LinkedIn or Instagram. Like you can give me to my Instagram.
I will link her Instagram out in the bio if you want to reach out to her. You can. And yeah, thank you so much. You know the drill. If you're listening to this on YouTube, tell us what you enjoyed the most about the episode. And if you haven't subscribed already, just subscribe to our channel and do like the video. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, do follow us on Spotify so you get notifications every time an episode is out. And thank you so much for being here. I'll see you guys in the next episode. I love
Thank you.
Bye. Where can people reach out to you?
LinkedIn or Instagram.
I will link her Instagram out in the bio if you want to reach out to her. You can. And yeah, thank you so much. You know the drill. If you're listening to this on YouTube, tell us what you enjoyed the most about the episode. And if you haven't subscribed already, just subscribe to our channel and do like the video. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, do follow us on Spotify so you get notifications every time an episode is out. And thank you so much for being here. I'll see you guys in the next episode. I love
Thank you.
Bye.